Welcome to another episode of Cosplay Cafe, where we're serving up a hot, steaming cup of cosplay. And we have a special announcement. We just teamed up with D&T. If you'll remember from a couple years ago, we were talking about D&T. They are basically your nerdy tea stop. They have everything you need, including cool thermoses like this that will keep your drink the correct temperature, and it comes with like a tea strainer inside. They have one for every class of D&D, and they have D&D themed teas. So I'm going to drop our affiliate link in the comments on this video. And if you go and shop using our affiliate link, you get a discount and we get a little bit of money. So you're supporting the show. We love D&T. We're really excited to be teaming up with them. It's basically like peanut butter and jelly, like perfect match. And we also have our regular ad, so I'm going to run that, and then I will introduce our guest.
I've been a superhero for a long time. It used to be so simple. You catch the bad guys, do the right thing, save the world. Then I met Aiden, and things got complicated.
Iris recruited me as a kid and turned me into their own personal weapon. I couldn't see any way out until I met Marty. But now we're going to burn their entire organization down if we can.
Forces of Nature, books 1 and 2, Scorcher and Thin Ice are available now wherever books are sold online. See www.kellyguentner.com.
Pokeballs by Crayley is your one-stop shop for handmade magical creations that celebrate all the Pokemon universe has to offer. Available on CrayleyVanest.com, that's CrayleyVanest.com, and possibly coming to a con near you.
All right. And Crayley is about to have a big sale, so keep an eye on her website. And so tonight I have my co-barista, Andrea. You all know Andrea Starnes. She is amazing. We love her. And because we're doing historical cosplay, she's got her Anastasia costume on, and it is stunning. Welcome, Andrea. You look
After 2
gorgeous.
years, I'm finally putting this thing on the screen.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, she's not as easy to sit in a bone corset, but here we are.
I give you credit. Like,
I'm in a rocking chair, so.
So if you're rocking during the...
If I'm in and out of here, it's just because I'm sitting, like, I'm surrounded by antiques, so it's perfect for her historical cosplay. There's antiques. I'm in, like, vintage furniture. It's kind of perfect.
I love it.
My house is full of antique junk. Not junk, but I love historical antiques. I love all that kind of stuff. So this is awesome.
It's perfect. And our guest knows her stuff. She's been doing videos about historical cosplay, so that's why I was really excited to bring her on to talk about this. You all should be following her channel. It's Hylian Princess Cosplay. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's been a long week, y'all. But her name is Allie. She is also my partner in charity, not my partner in crime with CWC. I really adore this woman. She is just so cool. You all are going to love her too. So welcome, Allie.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. I've been wanting to have you on the show forever. I'm glad we finally made it work.
Yes. We know how it's scheduling is with, grown-ups.
I know. 0 to 10, do not recommend.
I'm totally done with the grown-up thing. I'm done.
Yeah, there's less ice cream for dinner and more just like bills, and bills.
Taxes.
Oh my gosh, taxes. No, thank you. Though you have to pay them, apparently.
I've been told. They got Al Capone, okay? If you want to once again do some history diving, that's how they got Al Capone. It wasn't murder. It wasn't, theft. It wasn't bootlegging. It was tax evasion.
It was the only thing they could get him on.
So, guys, if they can get Al Capone, they can get you.
Yeah, which is actually appropriate because I'm dressed in a 20s-ish outfit. So glad you brought up
There
Al
you
Capone.
go.
And Curly McDonald is checking in and says, hello, I'm also on a rocking chair with the baby. I got to visit the baby last weekend, y'all, and little baby Loaf is just as cute as you can imagine. So,
Yeah, there's no babies here.
No, I got baby snuggles, though, and it was great.
I've got fur babies, but they're all locked out because they will be screaming at my feet to be picked up the entire time.
Uh-huh.
And as cute as they are, that's really distracting.
Yes, I have to lock out the 4 cats and the 2 dogs, and the cats know they're not allowed on this costume, too. So, cannot replace the fabrics now that Joanne's no longer exists.
R.I.P. Joanne's.
Don't
Yeah,
remind
Joanne.
me.
I mean, I get Michael's got their stuff, but it's still not the same because it's not in store.
No.
That's a whole nother rant for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just not going to think about that right now. It's too sad.
I think I have like 5 costumes with fabric already here waiting to be made, so I'm set for a little.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much of my stuff came from Joanne's, and when I'm linking that in the description of my YouTube videos, I'm like, Joanne's rip. There's no link to give you. I'm sorry. We're all still mourning.
That and I'm still. It's been since 2016, but I'm still mourning Hancock fabrics.
Me too. I loved Hancock.
I grew up in that store. I mourn the loss of that place to this day. I found Hancock fabric bags in some of my storage totes from when I moved, and I'm just like,
oh.
you're like the war widow crying
just emotional
in her
damage.
uniform.
Oh no.
Like,
Ellie, though, you and I need to go down to Chicago because I have that huge warehouse fabric. We need to just take a day because, I mean, you live a little further from Chicago than me, but like we just need to take a day and go down there. Like,
yeah,
they have one, and then there's this amazing place called Fine Fabrics in Atlanta. That is, I want to go back. I'm like, hey, Mom, you want to go visit your brother that lives in Atlanta? We can.
Totally focusing family, not about the fabric. That's just like,
you know what? My aunt would probably be like, yeah, let's go. So.
My grandma's a sewer too. She quilts. So I guarantee you that if I went, hey, Grandma, let's go fabric shopping, she'd be like, when and where? Get in the car.
I'll go fabric shopping with your grandma. I'm down.
Hell yeah.
She'd be like, so are you? She's like, are you on your way now?
I'm down.
Yeah.
So, on to our first question. Ellie, how did you get into cosplay?
I had some friends in high school who cosplayed. I started my first cosplay I did when I was 15. I did Link from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Yes. And I bought everything on Amazon. I, worked my butt off babysitting to pay for everything. I've still got the same sword and shield that I used mounted on the wall behind my camera. I love it. And I put it on for the first time. I looked at my mom and I started crying. And she goes, what? I'm like, I'm Link. I'm Link. And I still do that to this day. I've got some great footage of my recent aerial photo shoot that I did at Wisteria Castle in Wisconsin. 10 out of 10. Shout out to them because they are freaking amazing, stunning. I will go back there for every princess thing that I do ever. They also have this really awesome like Norse mythology kind of section in the basement, which it looks like Valhalla. It's amazing. So, I'm taking my sister there so we can do Thor and Loki, but I
need to go.
I'm hopping around in this big ball gown going, I'm a princess. And my husband's like, can you stand still so I can take pictures? I'm like, but I'm a princess.
You're like, be snapping, bro.
Just you got 2 cameras, just go. I like to step into another character for a little bit. It's fun. I'm a theater kid, so I loved being in costume in theater, and I'm like, how do I continue to do this as a grown adult with my adult money? I'm gonna be cosplaying till I'm 90.
Same.
Like,
they're probably gonna have to bury me in like my Wonder Woman outfit or something.
I can
If
see
y'all
that.
are hearing this, those are my wishes. Bury me in one of my cosplays,
It's
whatever.
now going to be saved forever on this video that's what you
Mhm.
want.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that would bring my friends and family the most comfort, anyways, because
Yeah.
that's me.
My
Mhm.
dad was buried with his Western shirt. Well, had his funeral because he was cremated with a Superman shirt underneath it because Superman was his
Oh.
jam. So he would tell
Yeah.
you he looked good in a suit. Hated wearing them. So, and everybody walked up there went, "That's Wayne." So we would look at it and go, "That's Kelly."
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just her.
Yep.
Yep.
And Ellie, your husband's very used to you
Oh yeah.
being the way you are. So
Oh my
Ellie
god.
and I were at an event where there was a real mermaid. Like, real mermaid. Yes. You can't tell us differently. So it was one of those mermaid performers. If you all have never seen okay. It has been my life's goal since I found out this was a thing to see a mermaid performer. And there's this museum in our area that has a mermaid performer at all of their events. And we were volunteering at this. And Ellie didn't know this was happening. I knew it was happening. I was like, and Ellie was dressed as Ariel because she's an amazing Ariel. And she and her husband had just gotten there. And I was like, oh, this is going on. And she's like, let's check the schedule. And the mermaid was happening right then. And we're like, bye, can you watch the table? And he's like, what is happening? She's like, mermaid, mermaid, mermaid. He's like, what?
And I'm just gone.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, bye.
I have friends that have a full mermaid pod, and some of them perform at the Ren Fair with Chris Jowers as
Oh my god.
one of the pirates.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, and, one of our volunteer group's members, Megan, is a mermaid beauty queen.
Oh my gosh.
New
Yes.
life goal. New life
She's
goal
a mermaid
unlocked.
beauty queen. If you've ever seen Coral Koi, that's Megan. She's got tiaras for being a mermaid beauty queen.
Oh my god.
I'm honestly so jealous and so mad that being a professional mermaid was not a career path when I was young enough to pursue
Where
it.
was that at the career fair?
I know,
They had
right?
nurses, they had the army. Where were the mermaids?
They could have sold that with the Navy.
Yes, thank you.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
If
You
there weren't
know-
so many things wrong with me, I might. And they won't take me.
Oh no, same. I definitely cannot hold my breath long enough to be a mermaid performer. I am not in good enough shape. And that is not me body shaming myself. I am not in good enough shape to do the swimming because
It's
you need
so
to be-
much.
It's the lung capacity.
It's so much abs, and then like you're like swim.
Yeah, because you
much.
can buy the swimmable tails.
Mhm.
But
Well, I've
if
got
you
friends that
don't-
got multiples.
If you don't know how to use them, you will die.
Yeah,
I
They-
shouldn't say that because
they teach you in like classes when you're going to be a mermaid performer. They teach you how to tail bail so that you can get out of the tail quickly and safely if for some reason.
Right.
There was a video that was floating around for a while that people were saying was super controversial because this mermaid performer like tail bailed in the middle of a performance, but their monofin snagged on a coral in the tank, and they weren't going up, so they were like, but they were trying to go up for air, so they were like, okay, no, and they just tail bailed.
They have to.
People in the comments are like, oh, how dare they do that in front of all these kids, and it's gonna break the magic.
Oh, it would have
Like,
been
would
great
you
if
rather
you
they
drowned.
I'm sorry.
Drown in front of all the kids?
No,
Mm-mm.
No,
Gonna be a no for me.
you know, that's the thing is especially all of us do volunteer stuff with the kids. We try to stay in character, but if it's unsafe, you break character.
Yeah.
You have to. You can't. Staying in character is not worth risking your life or someone else's.
Right.
And
Right.
basically, those professional mermaids are athletes. Like, don't let anyone tell you different. So
It's like an Olympic swimmer what they do. I mean, it's
Omar Owens, drowning won't ruin it, right? Exactly. Exactly.
They're just like, she's sleeping. The mermaid's taking a nap.
Yeah.
Ooh, no. I'm going to take a minute and catch up on comments because we have quite a few from our lovely people. Creely just says, Loaf is the reason she's never on air anymore, but she's worth it.
It's okay. You do a lot of behind the scenes,
That's
Crowley.
absolutely a valid reason.
Uh-huh. And Creely is doing a lot behind the scenes. And one of the things she's doing behind the scenes is relearning her sewing machine. She can successfully make posters.
Yes.
And not even joking, Crayley, I am so proud of you. Like, she has been just at it. And Crayley is like me, and we don't like to do things we aren't good at. We don't like the practice makes perfect. We just want to be perfect right away. Yeah. All of us
It's
perfectionists.
It's the TISM, the ADHD, the.
And she has been practicing like crazy with an infant. So,
Yeah.
shout out to my Phoenix sister. And then Omar Owens did wave. Hi, Omar. We love Omar. And Melody Jasmine Desjardins, who we also love, came in and said greetings programs. Omar also agrees that all the cool jobs are never at job fairs. You know what? I think that's because lots of people want those jobs, so they don't need to advertise, right? So that's a little catch up on our people that we love in the comments.
We enjoy the comment, all the interactions.
So Ellie, what is something that you have in your craft room that you cannot craft without? What's one tool or material?
Tweezers. I use tweezers for so many things. And the other thing is like water. If I dehydrate, I will cease to function.
That's because you're a mermaid.
Exactly. Thank you.
I just sit there with a spritz bottle.
Yes. Yeah.
Transfer it a whale.
I use tweezers for freaking everything. For picking little loose threads off of things. For like, I have them at my sewing machine so I can like hold a pleat or something in place. If like I can't sew over this pin or I can't sew over this thing, but I need to hold it and I can't, get my fingers under there. So tweezers. I do some 3D printing, so tweezers get,
oh yeah,
supports off and stuff. I use tweezers for freaking everything.
I have not heard the answer before, but it makes sense. It's one of those things that you take for granted until you don't have them.
Yes.
Things, a lot of like the little kits that come with some like brand new sewing machines usually have a little pair in them, but people just throw them aside. They don't think about it.
Yep.
But they're useful.
Until your sewing machine gets completely snagged up and then you need to take it apart. You need the tweezers to clean out.
And I've got long nails. Like I can't just like grab things the same way. So like tweezers help a lot with that too, because you're trying to like picking up a tiny little bead.
Yeah.
You're like
nails? No, tweezers.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Crayley agrees. She says yes, tweezers are such an underrepresented
oh my gosh,
crafting tool. Agreed. Fully agree. And Ellie, what are you working on now?
I'm in between projects at the moment. My next project is going to be a pair of Starfleet uniforms from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh yeah.
I'm really, really excited about it. I am going to do a blue science uniform for myself and a red command uniform for my husband. And then for Fan Expo Chicago, for one of the days, we are going to go as Commander Riker and Counselor Troy.
You're going to be such a cute Counselor Troy. I love her.
I was going to do Deanna, Dr. Crusher, but my husband's like, hey, I could, do you still want to do Deanna and Riker sometime? And I'm like, well, she wears the same costume. And then my mom could be Dr. Crusher because my mom loves Dr. Crusher.
Aww.
And then I talked to my mom about it. She goes, we're going to make your sister do Jean-Luc Picard. And I said, yes. My sister said no. So party pooper. She will cosplay with Picard. Me. She doesn't want to wear a bald cap.
I was going to say also your sister being Jean-Luc Picard if your mom is Dr. Crusher is a little weird.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned
the bald cap thing, a wig cap is enough with the amount of hair I have to put under. I could not pull off a bald cap because there's just too much. I would have the lumpiest head in the world.
Ooh, Fred Keir, your pale Palpatine asks, is he able to do the Riker maneuver? So that they're approaching. Yes.
Yes, he is. And he will do.
Is this your sister?
That's my mom.
Oh, D. Smith says, I won't wear a bald cap.
Kiwi is my sister.
Oh. Oh,
Yes.
she says Kiki can be Wesley.
That would be great. We're just gonna put her in the most obnoxious 80s sweater that we can find at Goodwill.
Hey, we're all
Damn
about
it, Wesley.
upcycling, okay?
Absolutely. I just bought a little pair of overalls for a Korok cosplay at Goodwill today, and it very excited for that. That one
Let's
might
use the stuff instead of letting it end up in a landfill.
Agreed.
absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
much agreed. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm a big fan of thrifting for that reason because, yeah, it's better than fast fashion.
Yeah. I refuse to buy anything from Shein.
Mm,
I've got a handful of Amazon seller, like Scarlet Darkness is like my favorite freaking
they're great.
shop on like ever. The skirt I'm currently wearing is from Scarlet Darkness. Like
It's so cute.
it's very, I love to history bound. I mean obviously I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Like I love to wear things that are like, so you sort of look like something out of Doctor Who. Like you just time traveled from another place, but you're trying to fit in still. That's my favorite freaking thing. If I don't look like a hobbit or like I'm going to the Ren Fair, then my outfit is, I don't feel myself.
Yes, same.
Considering I love vintage style, and then, full on had the, late 90s, early aughts goth girl phase for sure.
Yes.
So I get that. I love the romantic styles, the Victorian and Edwardian.
Yes.
I mean, I used to wear corsets underneath my work clothes, and I work for Target. I am a manager, climbing up and down ladders, and I used to wear them, but mine are all steel boned, and I use Victorian methods to make them.
Yeah,
I had it helped with back support.
Yes.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I'm wearing an Edwardian corset right now just because it helps me sit up straighter. Because otherwise I would look like a shrimp. Like it helps me to sit up straight, and
I have a bad back and it sways.
I can rest on it and take some of the pressure off of like my spine. It is. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice.
People are so stuck on all the lies and the propaganda about corsets. And
I could go on for so long about corsets.
I'm a corset snob.
Like the misconceptions with corsets.
Yes. I've been a corset snob since I started learning how to make the Victorian accurate and everything. And every time I see somebody go, I ordered this corset off of this place, I'm like, oh, no.
I don't know how you can wear a corset
to hurt.
I don't know how you can wear a corset all day. They're so uncomfortable. Cut to, they're wearing an Amazon corset directly on their skin. Directly on their skin. Yes. I'm sorry.
And I abhor plastic boning with my entire being.
The plastic boning, like I've bought a lot of corsets with plastic boning, and I'm okay with wearing them for a little while, but then it always snaps because it's cheap. It's not.
And your body heat warps them so they don't keep their shape. So when you use steel boning or something equivalent, this corset is all spiral and flat steel boned. Mm-hmm. And I've worn it for 2 years, and I've worn it a lot, and it is still exactly like it needs to be.
The corset I'm currently wearing has a lot of cording on it too. Something I handmade. They didn't just use bone after bone after bone. And they didn't always use steel bones. They used whalebone. They used reed. They used thin strips of wood. Like they weren't just using, these flat chunks of steel and crap plastic that they put in corsets nowadays. And corsets have always been more of a supportive garment, and to aid in the shape of your torso to achieve the fashionable silhouette. People get stuck on these Victorian corsets where they're like, oh my God, they were tight lacing and they were fainting and they couldn't breathe. That is so far extreme from what was happening on a day-to-day basis.
It was a small fraction of the people wearing them.
Yes, it was the extremely highly fashionable women who were wearing the tight-laced corsets. It wasn't the everyday person. Your maid or the lady who did your gowns and stuff. They all wore corsets. Mm-hmm. There were differing corsets for differing seasons. They had these like ventilated corsets, which were super cool. Like they weren't these oppressive things that women were forced to wear. Like, straight up, I would rather wear a historical corset than a bra most days.
Yeah,
Yes.
same.
Because
I'll take that over an underwire any day.
Underwires are the worst.
I live in sports bras when I am not in a corset. I am 100% serious, unless I have to wear something else, because after learning how to properly fit a corset, I'm serious, it relieves a lot of the back pain that I have.
Yeah.
Because it puts my spine, it straightens up my sway back.
Mm-hmm.
And I can wear them. I mean, I've worn full Victorian in the summertime for 15 hours and then just fine.
Wow.
Yep.
And you know, it's
that's
also
on the layers and the fabrics that they use too.
They used natural fibers. They weren't using polyesters, which are plastic based. So they had breathable. That's what people don't get is, yes, they wore a lot of layers.
Linen, which is made from the flax plant. They used cotton. They used silk. Silk isn't as breathable. It kind of traps things a little bit more, but silk, wool, cotton, linen, you know.
And people hear wool and they go, ugh. I'm like, there's different types of wool.
Right. Yes. There's the wool that keeps you warm that they make like a coat out of. And then there's thinner wools that can be worn as undergarments and wick moisture away from your body.
Yep.
And that's also why you always wore something under your corset. These movies where they take their outfits off and there is nothing under that corset, that is not historically accurate.
And they're trying to like wrench the corset so it closes. There should be a 2-inch gap in between the edges of your corset. Minimum 2-inch gap. And it should be straight. There should be none of this like weird waving at your waist. It shouldn't be gaping in places. It shouldn't be tighter at the top or the bottom. If your corset is not straight up and down when it's laced comfortably, comfortably
in the soft spots, not in your ribs.
Right.
That's where people get it wrong.
And like people are like, oh, they had to breathe differently because of their corsets. The corset I'm currently wearing is too small for me, and it is basically touching at the back. There's probably a 1/4 of an inch, a 1/2 inch-ish of space, but this corset is too big for me. But I couldn't wear my other corset because I wanted to show it to you.
Oh, yes.
So, you know, like I can breathe in my normal way just fine. And I was in choir, so I breathe from my diaphragm. They say you had to breathe from like the top. You can. It's a little bit easier, but I have no trouble breathing. And I actually find the compression of it quite comforting. It's like a hug.
Aw.
I'm very comfy.
It weirdly is. I mean, I think when I started making corsets over a decade ago, and when I started learning the drafting and like the fitting and all of that, the techniques, it made me go, okay, so yeah, all of that stuff was a lie. And I learned to wear them. But I mean, I know so many people that have back problems that when they put on a corset, they feel so much relief.
Yes.
Because it does, like you said, it's a supporting garment. It helps hold you. And yeah, it's weird to get in a car and try to drive in one sometimes.
I don't like driving in a corset. And now part of that is just how modern like chairs and stuff work. Like if I turn to you can't see that. If I turn to the side, I'm sitting up straight, but like look how far the back of my chair is from my back. Like if I lean back like this, like but like this is the comfortable way to sit. Chairs nowadays and like the bucket seats of cars, they are made so that you can lean back and lounge. Whereas like carriages and chairs from the time period, they're at a 90-degree angle. That's not a 90-degree. That's a 90-degree angle. They're at a 90-degree angle. So they're not intended to be leaning back.
Right.
But when you eat in a corset, you kind of have to, adjust because you bloat. And then
So do you want to show us your corset? We're at the halfway mark. It's a good time.
Oh, are we there already?
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Do we want to see the whole deal or do like one piece at a time? How do we want to do this?
That is up to you. Here, I'm giving you a bigger screen.
There we go.
So this is my most recent project. I am so freaking proud of this. It took months, partly because of my own procrastination.
We know all about that.
All about that. So your first layer, this, first of all, is an 1860s inspired costume. I used as historically accurate of fabrics as I could find with historically accurate or near historically accurate patterns, all of which I got on Etsy. and I just so much fun with it. So we start with the chemise.
Yes.
This is your chemise. It kind of looks like a great big nightgown. And we've got some embroidery on her. Some little, because this is specifically for Ariel, we've got this shell and seaweed and this stuff at the bottom. It was supposed to be bubbles. Would you focus, camera? Hello.
There it goes.
There it goes. Each sleeve took 8 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Embroidery is not my strong point. So
I made 3 of them because the first ones, I used a different stabilizer for embroidery that was an iron-on, and then it wouldn't come off.
Oh no.
So I made 3 sleeves. That was fun. We got a little bit of embroidery on the top too. Focus. There we go.
you just have to threaten it.
You should hear me in my craft room trying to make my sewing machine work or anything like that. So I brought my.
That's why I don't make videos. People ask me why I don't do like instructional videos. I'm like, because you don't want to hear the words coming out of my mouth.
Oh my gosh. So
You just bleep them out. Just bleep all.
I would just have to put like music or a voiceover.
I've got voiceovers. I can't.
Nobody wants to hear me.
And I've recently acquired Bluetooth headphones, but before that, I was just raw dogging my YouTube or Grey's Anatomy or whatever I was watching. So that's really distracting in the background. So we'll start with our chemise. This. Just get on there. She's got no shoulders. She doesn't know how to.
Oh no, that's the one thing I hate about those dress forms because I have 2 of them.
I have a big
shoulders
one that's got arms and proper shoulders, but she won't stand up by herself unless she's got her little like over the head stand thing. So
yeah.
Next step is your bloomers. These are boring. They got a little bit of embroidery on the hem here. I have to like duck my face out of the way or else it can't see.
Oh,
It wants
pretty.
to focus on you.
I am the star of the show.
Well, you are so pretty.
These are split drawer. So you got your 2 legs and they're attached at the waistband here. There's no cover for your crotchal region. This is how they
accurate.
This is how they peed.
Yep.
So
I just learned about the pots they peed in during balls.
Yes. The chamber pots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've made bloomers. Like I've had some people that commissioned me for some outfits for Mardi Gras, and I used a split bloomer pattern, but I sewed them up so that they would not be. I mean, it was in New Orleans, but I didn't want them to be that exposed. So.
Fair.
Let me tell you though, when you are out in 80, 90 degree weather in an 1860s gown, it's kind of nice to have split drawers.
I
get a little breeze.
Yeah. But y'all, if you're buying like 1860s era dishware, you might accidentally buy a pea pot.
Yeah. Don't put soup in it. It might be a pea pot.
Because they look very fancy.
Oh, they were very.
They kind of look like gravy boats.
Yeah.
we have a whole place here that's called the Victorian Village. It's old houses, and that you can tour, and they still have all the original stuff in it. So since I was little, I've seen those. I was like, why is there a bowl on the floor? And they tell you, so you're like, oh,
that's to pee in, and you're like,
but I can
that's the toilet.
If you're antiquing and it's not labeled properly, you have to be
don't use it for anything except display.
Reverse Google image search it before you put your Thanksgiving gravy in it.
That's a story.
My corset.
It's so pretty.
I love it. I had an obnoxious amount of this trim in my
I have used that kind of lace in black. Love that lace.
We got our flossing. Oh my gosh, the word escaped me for a minute. This is to keep the bones from flopping all over the place.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which I love.
It's decorative, but also has a purpose, which is a lot of what happened with that clothing.
Mm-hmm. It was pretty for you.
Yes.
And then I've got my little hook here that most of the time they were to keep your skirts down, but I hook my lacing underneath it because it keeps it out of the way and keeps it from dangling all over the place. It does not matter if your bloomers go on over your chemise or under it. It's personal preference. And then these are made out of cotton because I could not find linen for less than a kidney a yard when I was fabric shopping.
Linen has gotten extremely expensive for good, like, natural fiber linen, not a polyester linen.
Which we do not
and
want.
For a undergarment like this, you do not want poly linen. You don't want a blend. No. And it can't, all I could find was the thick stuff.
Yeah.
Like the tablecloth linen. And I'm like, that's not what I want.
No. Especially not as your underlayer.
Mm-hmm.
Too thick. Whatever. This is the big one. This is the hoop skirt.
Yes.
There are 64 individual hand-sewed intersections of horizontal and vertical tapes on this. This is what took me the longest because I don't like wearing thimbles, and I was shredding my fingers. Yeah. I think my camera just died.
I'm terrible about thimbles as well. No, you're still going.
Yeah, I still see you.
And you're good.
Okay. The monitor on my camera must have decided to stop then. Okay.
Because we see you.
Okay, good. It wasn't flashing with change your battery. But this guy goes on next. And one thing about the 1860s, specifically, this is like 1865-ish. Mm-hmm. Do not fall over. Is the elliptical skirts. So it's a little bit longer at the back. That is my favorite era of Victorian ball gowns. I love them.
It's actually my Anastasia skirt is drafted from a Victorian elliptical pattern. I love it because you get all that drama in the back.
Mm-hmm. And this dress form will not do it justice because the little straps at the back that are meant to hold it against your butt to make it very elliptically, there's no butt on the dress form.
Yeah, fair.
But that goes on. Ideally the correct way. Oh, it's catching on the fridge. Whatever. It'll help hold it up while I put it on.
Yeah, trying to put elliptical hoops on in a small space is really interesting. They catch on everything. I'll be getting dressed in this in my room, and like I'll end up with half of my hoop skirt on the bed because I
sit down to put mine on. I will sit down because I can't. I can't do it otherwise.
It's ridiculous. And it is true that's why a lot of people had maids, was some of these things are not easy to put on your own.
I can put everything of this costume on by myself other than the bodice.
Yeah. I have most of mine I make so that I can put them on myself because, you never know if somebody's going to be there to help you get into your cosplay or not. Yeah. So I've learned to lace my own corsets and I've become a contortionist a little bit to get back there.
I'm hypermobile, so I just dislocate something and go,
ow.
Okay. She's like, I'll pop it back in a second.
I'll pop it back in when I'm done.
You're like, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
That's my superpower.
Cosplayers, a cosplay superpower is just not giving a flip about it and just going for it.
This one's boring. This is the petticoat. I literally just took my skirt pattern and made it in white muslin and then put a ruffle on the bottom because
nice.
When you're doing a Disney princess, you want that little ruffle thing at the bottom of their skirts.
You gotta have some fluff in there.
Yes. But this smooths out the hoops, the lines from the hoops. Yep. There is nothing that bothers me more. And this is a pet peeve of mine. And I know that not everybody can afford to buy another skirt to put over their hoop skirt. But when I see people with their hoop lines on their ball gown skirt, it drives me up the wall. I never say anything because it's like not everybody is,
because it's your peeve and not theirs.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I get that because I've made some, and before I have like the underneath on it, I'm like, oh, I can see the hoops, I can see the bones. It's not good. So yeah, it's a thing. I 100% agree and get it. I love the fluffing part of the big dresses. You just kind of have to love, and the hopping. You have to
hop around in it.
To make everything settle.
Yes. And now we're finally on to gown. How
Yay.
many? 1, 2. That's like 5 layers, and we're not even to the gown yet. Now we're to the gown.
Now we're to the actual clothing.
And you wonder why they had maids to help them dress. But I can get this whole costume on in less than 5 minutes.
Wow.
As long as whoever's doing up my bodice is standing by ready to do it, I can get it on in 5 minutes.
That's
it's not.
Yeah. It's once you've done a lot of historical or historically kind of inspired, you get into a rhythm of being able to do it.
Yeah. And you start to, the hardest part is learning how to comfortably lace down your corset.
Yep.
Once you've got
that
once
down, you do that,
good. The only fanciness about this is, we've got the same trim and then
pretty.
some pearl beads. And
I mean, you're Ariel, you have to have
pockets. I got pockets.
Yes.
Dude, that's what people don't understand.
For my trinkets.
Historical people had pockets.
Yes, they did.
For your thingamabobs.
For my thingamabobs.
Gotta have
my
thingamabobs.
I love that it's a skirt and a separate bodice too. That's fabulous.
It's very rare that older style outfits were one piece. They're very usually a bodice and a skirt, or in an overskirt or something. When people say a dress, it usually, or a ball gown, it was multiple pieces.
Right.
Yeah, they were never wearing like one whole dress.
Unless it was like a day dress or something simple.
Yeah, something simpler. Like especially in this era, they would have like their day dresses, which would be all one, but it would like button up the front. But their gowns, they were always 2 pieces.
Yes.
We've got overskirt moment with the same trim and stuff.
That is one of my favorite parts of doing costumes, is all those little added details you can throw in and make it your own. God, I love doing that.
Well, and Allie, did you design this take on Ariel's pink dress, or did you find artwork that inspired you?
A little bit of both. I knew I wanted to make an elliptical hoop skirt. That's what started all of this mess. I wanted to make an elliptical hoop skirt. And I was like, well, what if I'm going to do that? I have to justify it by making a whole costume to go with it.
Yeah, fair.
And historical costuming people do that. We go, I want to make this weird one little niche thing. Yes. Oh, dang, now I have to make the whole outfit.
What is my purpose for making this one thing? So it started with our elliptical hoop skirt, and I was like, I want to make a big, fabulous ball gown. And Ariel's my favorite princess, so I was like, I'm doing Ariel. That's what we're doing.
Fair.
Last bit is the bodice. This thing is heavy. There are, hang on, I have in my notes app how many beads are on just the bodice.
Oh my gosh, look at those beads. They're so pretty.
So is Ariel without pearls?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Exactly. The bodice alone has 532 beads.
And I assume you had to hand bead those?
But I did it while I was playing D&D, so I was fine.
That's the way to do it.
Technically,
multitask.
This should have had eyelets in the back. But I make almost everything I make twice because I can't be satisfied with it the first time. Yep. And the first time I made it, I just put hook and eye tape in it because I was in a rush. I needed it done for an event, and it just needed to go on my body and stay on my body. And that was all we needed.
Yeah.
And we achieved that. We got there. But yeah, it was when I was like, when I redo this bodice properly, I'm going to put the eyelets in it the way that I'm supposed to. And then I'm sitting there staring at it, and I'm like, I don't want to put eyelets in it. I scoured the internet to find any example of any other type of closure for a ball gown bodice in the 1860s. And I found one, just one, where they used hooks and eyes. So hook and eye tape is what I did because I could not be bothered. And I'm glad I did because from starting this project to when I finished it, I lost like 10 pounds.
Oh
and
my gosh.
When I put it on. So I had to take almost 3 inches out of the waist
goodness.
I was horrified. And I had done, some of the finishing work wrong because I know better than the instructions, clearly.
Yeah.
Oh, we all do.
Now, did you lose 10 pounds because of the stress of this project?
No, I just lost 10 pounds because I made some lifestyle changes just to be healthier in general. So
for you.
See, I will tell you, that is my fear with this Anastasia. Like, it fits perfectly right now, but I'm like, I really want to get back into shape. And I cannot, once again, get this fabric anymore because Joann's no longer exists. And my brain goes, but if you lose weight, you can't wear Anastasia. But my brain goes, but you need to get back into shape. So it's a bit of a fight with myself. And everybody's like, oh, you could, somebody else could wear it. I'm like, no.
No,
they could not.
No.
She's mine.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom helped me hand sew all of my lace down when I was at work trying to get this thing done. So, I'm like, no, this is mine.
This is mine. I'm being selfish. It's mine. Any costume that I have no further use for, if it can't be cut up into something else, if I don't ever wear it, I donate it to the theater department at my local high school because they will find a place for it somewhere. Yeah. And it blows my mind how they take these things that I'm just like, get these out of my closet, and they'll cut them up and make them work into something. I gave them like a whole Jedi costume, and they were somehow able to use the robes for something. And there was like a prom dress that I had thrifted, and I was like, I definitely, am going to turn this into something. And then it just sat. And I was like, this is doing no good in my closet. And the local high school did a production of Anastasia this spring. So I saw some of the pictures. I was like, hey, I know that dress. That looks familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like the costuming people, they're always so excited to get stuff like that because we all know that high school theater departments are severely underfunded, and it's just,
theater in general does not get the love that it needs to. Because I costumed for a youth program for a local theater for 4 years, and there was practically no budget.
Yeah.
So we got creative, especially the first year I did it. We were doing steampunk outfits, so boy, we had fun.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
We did Edgar Allan Poe in steampunk. So
that's cool.
That sounds fun.
That sounds awesome.
I actually got the job because I was a cosplayer and showed somebody my steampunk costumes.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
So it was pretty cool.
So let's go through pictures real quick. Ellie, you've shown people the dress step by step. So I'm going to real quick go through the undergarment pictures, and then I'll show your finished pictures. So here is, shoot.
I was like, no, that's me.
Oh, that's you.
No, I was saying, when you dropped the picture, I was like, no, that's me, not her picture. No.
So here's your chemise, right?
The chemise and bloomers, yep.
So cute.
Shout out to my husband for doing all of the photography for me. And any reveal footage that you see in my YouTube videos is all done by my husband. Almost every picture of me in full costume is done by my husband. He's amazing and hit like 10 out of 10 because I have a whole bunch of photos that from my aerial shoot in this gown that I haven't even edited yet, other than a handful of them for, this and a couple other things. And like, there's so much there that's amazing that there's stuff that I don't even have to touch. I'm like, we're just gonna
10 out of 10 would marry again.
Yes, 100%.
You two are really cute together. Like, you two are really good for each other. So this is your corset.
Yes, this is how a corset should lace in the back, people, if you don't know.
There's a little bit more space here than there should be, but when I finished the corset, I was still losing weight faster than, I figured I'm going to make this in a slightly smaller size. That way it will still fit me for a while and I don't have to remake it.
Yeah, fair.
They're a lot of work.
Look at the hipster. It's
there.
So
you can see
nice.
Like the elliptical slope of it.
Yeah.
It's so nice. It's heavy.
It looks heavy.
They're all steel bones.
Yeah.
because
Oh,
that's
my
what they
Steel
would have used.
hoops.
They're all steel hoops. There are 12 in
Oof.
total, I think. And like overall, the thing probably only weighs a pound or two, but having all of that weight just on your waist, and that's part of the reason they wore corsets, was because the boning in it helps distribute that weight across your waist and helps it settle on your hips instead of like digging in.
Oh, that makes sense.
They were a lot smarter than people give them credit for.
Yeah.
So
I
pretty.
didn't include any petticoat photos because that's boring. I'm sure somebody's super excited about petticoats. I'm sorry if you're really excited about petticoats and you were looking forward to seeing that. Like,
Just go. If
it's
you
a white
follow her,
skirt.
you might get to see. You know,
Yes.
if you follow
There's a whole-
Allie, you'll get to see petticoats.
Yes.
There's a whole video dedicated to the hoop skirt and petticoat. Go watch it. Here are some of the amazing photos that my husband took. This was at Wisteria Castle in Johnson Creek, Wisconsin. They're just
I need
amazing.
to go. I really, really need to go. It's on my bucket list. It's not too far for me.
I'll come visit you. I got some princess costumes that would probably look good there.
I've been trying to get you to visit for years.
I know.
You need to get up here.
Look, now that a lot of things are settling, I can finally start making plans to do more traveling again.
Yes.
Yes. And then we also have a couple of viewer submissions. Well, and first of all, we have this from Crayley.
Oh,
look at her, Barbie.
yes.
She looks so cute. Yeah,
look, Crayley, see, you are on screen.
we
see
love
right
Crayley.
there.
We love Crayley.
Stunning.
This is Keldar. She is one of the most talented cosplayers I have ever known. I get to be I get to say that that's a friend of mine. Okay, but here's really funny. When I was editing this together,
because I follow her on so many things. You guys actually know her. I'm gonna fangirl a minute. Oh my god.
Yeah, no. Kel and I live in the same city. We're both in Memphis.
She's amazing. I've met her once, and we've had her on the show. And
okay, but here's the funny thing: when I had to move these around, when I first edited this together, her Anne Boleyn picture actually cut off the top of her head. I screenshotted that her head was gone in the picture. I was like,
historically accurate.
Screenshot it. I'm gonna send it to Kel later because I know she will crack up.
Historically accurate Anne Boleyn.
But her bell, like I've seen the green bell in person, and it is so stunning. She is so talented. It's ridiculous.
I want to do a Tudor gown.
She also has a white version of the Anne Boleyn.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the green is gorgeous. Yeah. It's so classic.
She's so
talented. Can I share some of your historical pictures today? She's like, take whatever you want. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, we love Kel.
We do love Kel.
And then Nikki.
So you get Nikki is a flapper Tiana, and we'll get some better pictures. But our friend Robin was her Lottie. Yeah, so there's some better pictures of Robin separate. Yep. But there she is.
Robin makes the cutest Lottie. Like,
yes, like Robin. Okay, Robin lives for the Disney life because she writes for the Disney food blog. She is my Disneyland vacation buddy. Like, Robin is Disney queen. So, but we were like, when people say historical, they're like, most people think really old. But I was like, I think up through the 50s to me is kind of in the historical phase of clothing. Yes. But those little 20s Tiana and Lottie are so cute.
So cute. They look really great. So Jen S says, wow, amazing in every detail. This was in response to your Ariel. Your Ariel is
gorgeous.
So amazing. I'm nerding out because obviously Ariel was my favorite growing up. And then Crayley McDowell says, Kelly, we both need to go to Wisteria Castle. Yeah, Crayley, your visit is going to be jam-packed with fun stuff. So yeah, I'm taking make it happen because Crayley is visiting me in November. We decided. So if we can get up to Wisteria Castle while you're visiting, yeah. Crayley said my Barbie was referencing a 1959 moment, and she was like, "What? Is that the cutoff?" I mean, I feel like even 80s at this point. I'm sorry, y'all. Throw the tomatoes. It hurts my soul too, but like the 80s.
I feel when the word vintage gets thrown around for something, it's hit pretty much the historical.
While
I'm
I was
vintage.
while I was antiquing with my sister today, we saw some Barbies that like the Barbie of the Year type Barbies, and we saw like a I think it was like 91, like holiday Barbie, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you should do like a holiday Barbie for Christmas." And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, we're writing that down." And she's like, "If it was 99, it'd be perfect." And she's like, "Ha, you're vintage." I'm like, vintage is like 20 years, right? Which means you're vintage next year. And she's like, "I don't want to talk about this anymore."
You two are babies. I was born in 81. You're both babies.
I'm in 83. So. Yeah, we're elder millennials.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Gen Z.
Nothing unfortunate about that. Gen Z's all right.
Sometimes we do questionable things.
Yeah, same.
Have you met a millennial? Come on. Questionable things are like, that's our tagline.
I've just recently learned about the Gen Z stare. And then I realized that I do it all the time because I'm a hairstylist. So like people will be like yelling at me and I just sit there and I'm like, there's so many things that I could say to you, but I'm just going to keep my mouth shut because.
Oh my gosh. That's right. I learned about the Gen Z stare last week. I was like, you know what? Back when I was in customer service, I would have done that if I could have. I don't blame you.
Customer service face and voice is, I am being nice, but I really can hate you right now.
Mm-hmm. The higher pitched the angrier I get, the higher pitched my voice gets, and the more big words I use. And that just makes people more angry because when you call somebody belligerent, they're like, "What does that mean? What are you trying to call me?" That's belligerent.
Exactly what you're being.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Here's the Google page for the word definition for the word belligerent. Your picture's next to it.
Yeah, Sunday was my 17th anniversary working for Target.
Oh.
I don't only work there. I have keys to the building, and I'm the manager 5 nights a week. I am insane. The busiest one in the entire city.
Oh gosh.
I give you so much credit for that, but oof.
It's been a steady job. I didn't lose my job during COVID like a lot of people, and you know.
I mean, that is good, and yeah, you can depend on it. So
I pay my mortgage with it, so that there's that.
Pays the bills. That's important.
It pays the bills. Keeps a roof over my head, the pets, and mom. So, I would probably be more willing to live out of my car if it wasn't for the 6 animals and my mother in my house.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't cosplay from there, though. There's not enough room for all my costumes in my car.
Yeah.
No.
That's
valid.
You have to have like a whole storage unit just to create out of and store stuff. That's why I have
a little trailer that
I'm allowed one closet.
Oh, the good thing is there's a closet back here behind me that has stuff in it. The one in my living room and the one in my bedroom. And there's a few things, I think, in the hall closet. But there's also, y'all talk for a second. I'm going to show you something truly vintage, historic, real quick on camera.
Yeah.
Hold on.
My cosplay has spread to next door. My parents have taken pity on me, and they're like, "Oh, you're running out of room. Well, here, you can have a whole bedroom to keep your cosplay." And they spoil me.
I've got my whole cosplay craft room situation, but the closet up there is not great for actually storing anything other than materials. So the costumes are stored down here in a closet. Ooh, what do we have?
My grandmother's wedding dress from 1946.
Oh, that's so pretty.
I'm trying to find somebody local that can restore it so that we can have it. But look, I also have the hood veil.
Craylie's calling me out. Crayley says, "Yeah, I put my costumes in Craylie's room at her parents." You know what?
Yeah, I realized I have historical for y'all there. So,
Crayley, you have not visited all year, so you don't get to complain.
Okay, I'll
There's
move back. And, all right. But yeah, I thought y'all might like that if we were talking historical. That was my mom's.
We lost Allie.
I'm still here. I'm just changing the battery.
All right,
But,
Allie,
yeah,
once you change the battery, we are at the end of the hour, so we're going to give you the full screen once you get the battery change and
I'm
ask
back.
you. Excellent.
There you go.
Okay.
There's her beautiful face again.
All right. So you get the full screen, and what? Yes, there's your lovely face. So, what is some advice that you would give to a new cosplayer who is just getting started?
Don't worry about it being perfect. I am not one who takes my own advice, but you do not need to spend a lot of money. Don't compare yourself to people who have been cosplaying for even a year. If you are doing your first cosplay, get what you can afford. Go to Goodwill. I have a video coming up here shortly where I'm going to talk about the beginner's guide to cosplay. I'm going to talk about closet cosplay, how to recycle materials to make, some really incredible stuff. Don't sweat it. Just have fun. Don't compare yourself to somebody who's been cosplaying for a year, 2 years, 5 years, and don't join a costume contest, like a big one, until you are certain that you are ready. Don't feel like you have to just because you're at a con and they have a costume contest. I have seen a lot of my friends get out of cosplay because they compared themselves too much to somebody who has a lot more money or time on their hands. And I have two that I can think of off the top of my head that they'd stopped cosplaying altogether because they got discouraged because they compared themselves too much because they couldn't afford the fancy sewing machine. My sewing machine is $150 from Joann's. I've had it from Rip Joann's. I've had it for 6 years. Sometimes she's mad, but she works. Cosplay is 50 hobbies in a trench coat. You can cosplay if you can't sew. You can cosplay if you don't know how to paint stuff, because more than likely you're going to make friends who can teach you or will help you. I feel like that was a really roundabout answer to that question, but
no, that was good advice.
No,
very good advice.
Especially you don't feel you have to compete.
Yes.
Don't compare yourself to other cosplayers, because
even in competition, don't compare yourself.
And don't compare yourself to people who are new either, because that's just really that breeds things that are really toxic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Crayley agrees. She says, true. I've been cosplaying for 10 years without being much of a sewist. Yeah.
And that's
some cosplayers are really amazing at sewing. Some cosplayers are phenomenal at foam smithing. Some do stuff with LEDs.
But some just want to be in costume.
Yeah. I'm one that I just like being in costume.
People that can do wig work blow my mind out of everything.
Oh my gosh. And some just closet cosplay. Some can
I'm a hairstylist and I struggle with styling wigs. I am a licensed and practicing cosmetologist. And have been for 8 years. I still struggle to style wigs.
Wigs are a whole different ballgame because they're not real hair.
No, it's different. Hair. And the wefts are weird. And it's just like, I try and take my actual knowledge that I got from school and, experience and try and apply it to a wig. And I'm like, why isn't it working? This works with hair, but most wigs are plastic. So that has been a huge learning curve for me. Ooh. Figuring out how to style wigs.
That's fair. All right. So, Ellie, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Hylian Princess Cosplay. I'm not on X.
Valid. Same.
That's enough said.
But enough said.
Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Hylian Princess Cosplay. I upload on YouTube every other Sunday. New video is coming out on Sunday. This upcoming week. It is the final installment of my 1860s Ariel. Well, okay, the gown itself is done. My wig video goes up on Sunday. So if you want to see how I styled my Ariel wig, look out for that. Like I said, I've got some stuff coming up for Beginner's Guide to Cosplay, how to prep for a convention, closet cosplay, that kind of stuff, and the Starfleet uniforms. So there's a lot coming. There's a lot happening.
So y'all go follow her. She's awesome. You won't be sorry. Andrea, where can people find you?
Media Rice, mostly Instagram. I'm on Blue Sky. And then my Facebook, you can find me under Andrea Starnes. I have a Media Rice one there, but I kind of forget to use it. So, and wherever you find the Cosplay Cafe.
Yep. We're Cosplay Cafe Podcast or Cosplay Cafe Pod on Instagram, Facebook. Oh gosh. And then you can also find
YouTube.
Oh yeah, of course, YouTube. Duh. And you can find me and Crayley at Phoenixus Entertainment pretty much everywhere, including Blue Sky, which we have to get better about posting.
What is Blue Sky?
It was
out of the loop.
It's a social media.
Got like people X, who got fired. Oh, sorry.
It's kind of like X, but not. It's got this so many word limit and everything, but it's a lot more.
Took over, made Blue Sky.
Okay.
And they have a video based part. I forget what it's called, but yeah, it's another social media that when people got tired of X, they went and made their own.
I never had a Twitter to begin with. I think I had a Twitter
and never used it.
And I never used it. And then when I got into making my cosplay accounts, I just never thought to make a Twitter account because I made accounts on all the things that I used.
Yeah.
That I knew I would check.
And it's hard keeping up with all of them, especially if they're not linked. So
I'm not the type of person who thinks that the internet needs to know my every thought. So Twitter was just never the place for me.
Yeah, that's basically what Twitter is. Well,
100% agree with you on that. I don't need to post every 5 minutes to let people know that I had this thing happen.
Yeah. I sneezed. Just thought everyone should know.
Probably the next thing Crayley and I will be posting on Blue Sky will be whenever I make her watch the Helen Slater Supergirl. We're gonna post our thoughts because I've seen it. Crayley has not. It is an abominably bad movie.
Oh no.
I'm very excited. On that note, hope everyone has a great night. Allie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me so much.
We love you.
Awesome to talk historical clothing with people. With someone.
I rant about corsets and how people can't wear them properly.
And everyone, please follow Allie. You won't regret it. And we have one last video to see us out. Please watch it.
Hey everybody, I'm George.
I'm Seth.
And we are the hosts for the Fanatic Forum, the podcast that is all things geek. We talk about anything you could possibly imagine.
We talk books, comic books, video games, wrestling, battle tech, fan theories, how they relate to Warhammer and Godzilla fan fiction. We go off on long, bizarre tangents that don't necessarily mean anything. We have theme nights. We're a very interactive show. Tell them, George.
Extremely interactive. I mean, you've got to check us out live. We are 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and on YouTube. And if you can't catch us live, you can always check us out on Spotify. Be there or be square, baby.